Hello, everyone. This is the Web ID office hours. We host this call every 2 weeks. We're gonna talk about some of the deliverables that we're working on the current milestone. Mohammed, you were going to bring a topic.
Yeah, so for the current deliverable that I was working on, just with the using the artifact approach instead of the submodule approach for the GitLab VS Code extension in the Web IDE. So I've actually created a merge request. I'm gonna link it in the chat here. And basically with the merge request, I also noticed Julie, your one of your issues is related to like a local like watch tool or something for the for just changes in the if you make changes in the VS Code extension, it should reflect in the Web IDE. I think it might be a little similar to what I was working on, and I think we could probably pair on that because basically what I'm working on, my part, I just basically implemented it where it uses a URL for the artifact and downloads it, and then just basically unzips and builds it. But there's with the VS Code build, that artifact approach, the VS Code build had an option to also use like an absolute path, so you can have a path to your local VS Code build that, and then you can just specify like a local version of the JSON file that I have in the merge request, where you can specify where you want to the VS Code artifact to build from. So I think we could do something similar there. And the make file that I created, I could like additional logic could be added for that as well.
That's very cool, Mohammed. Would you like to share your screen and maybe like show us how it works?
Yeah, yeah, I can share my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, pretty much let me just basically restart everything. Yeah, so what I did was I added the new like a new package, VS Code extension, GitLab VS Code extension. I just basically went with the same kind of conventions we have here, where we put where for extensions that we're adding to the web IDE, we just add like the VS Code extension first, and then what the name of the extension is. So I did the same thing here, and then what I did was I added a local GitLab VS Code extension .json, which is just pointing to a tarball file that's part of the release, like our releases for the GitLab VS Code extension. And then this is where I was talking about that type of URL. If you see in the VS Code build directory, you can have two types. You can have URL, or you can have, let me see if I can get these scripts open. You can have either URL or you can have a path. Yeah, and the path could be like an absolute path. So we could do the same, something similar there as well. And pretty much what happens is when you run, I updated the make file here and the make file in here. Basically, I updated the package that we're getting that GitLab VS Code extension from to build this browser, and that's what gets added to the Web IDE like build. So pretty much, if I just run yarn build example, you notice that it downloaded the tarbell and then it just outputted it, and then we npm install, and then we are gonna basically build the this browser from the makefile, and all that's being instructed by the makefile here.
And why do we have to run build browser? if the
Hmm.
artifact is already a production ready artifact.
Yeah, so I think the current artifact, so there was like four different type of extension artifacts. There was the VSIX, and then there was the tarbell and zips. But with the VSIX, the artifact, I think it's built for desktop rather than a browser. And yeah, so I was getting a lot of issues when I was trying to run it with that artifact versus if I use a tarbell and then unzip it and then run npm and then run npm build browser.
So the zip artifact is a is it a the still like the same desktop artifact and then we run the build browser? Or is it just like a separate
Oh,
artifact that contains the source code of the extension?
yeah, so the tarball is basically like a separate artifact that contains the source code of the extension pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Versus the VSIX where when the VSIX downloaded, uh it didn't have it didn't have so the script for building the browser build actually didn't properly didn't work. And also just that artifact alone wasn't working with the way we had to copy it over to the web IDE. Because basically what the makefile does is it copies it over to the web IDE art build. I think it's here VS
Yeah.
Code extensions, and then it copies it over here. So that this browser is basically what gets copied over to the web IDE package build.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's great news because it seems like this approach accelerates the like linking to the for local development to the
Yeah.
build
Yeah.
artifacts in the from the VS Code extension project.
Hmm.
But I have an observation that let's say that I'm linking to the build that is created in the GitLab VS Code extension repository.
Yeah.
In this case, when that in that scenario, I don't want to run the the build browser job from the web IDE because it's already built from the extension. So there would be like a disparity in there, right?
Uh yeah, yeah. Yeah, because it's already built. Hmm. Yeah, that's a good
Maybe
observation.
maybe something that we could do is check and I think like this would add to the complexity. So that should be a follow-up issue for sure.
Okay.
Or well, since we have actually Yuhi's issue that is about the local development build, maybe
Hmm.
Yuhi, what you could do is focus on publishing a web artifact of the extension for every release.
For
In that way,
which build? So,
like publishing a version of the VSIX file
mhm.
that contains the browser version of the extension as an artifact. In that way, we have like we don't have to
Oh,
run
yeah, that
npm
way
run
we can
build.
skip we can skip the building part and just when we download it, we can use it right away. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I can make an issue for that, Enrique, after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll add that as like a follow-up issue.
Yes. Or since like what I was mentioning before is that since now basically this is solving um, also the local like linking to a local build in the copy of the repository in the local environment. Maybe then you could like work
Oh,
on
oh
building that
this
artifact.
this one actually isn't too local. This is just to what's current any release. You can change to a different release version if you wanted to, but it's not actually linking to your local GitLab VS Code extension. I think that's the part that UE is currently working on.
Oh, that makes sense. So
Yeah, yeah.
what you
This is
mean is
just
that
yeah, this is just pointing to a release of the VS Code extension. And yeah, that's where I was saying that we have the next part me and Julie could probably pair on, which is what the VS Code build does is it builds like the same type of JSON, but the JSON uh as let me copy and paste. But the JSON would actually be called would actually have one more like this local.json or something like that. And for that one, the type would actually be a path, and you would just specify your absolute path to your package that you want to copy over, and
yeah, that yeah
it's counted.
that makes sense. I just thought that you had already implemented that functionality as part of
Uh,
this of the MAR. But yeah, if it is not implemented, then it makes sense that it is done within the context of UFIS issue.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. And um, let's see. And then what happens? And again, like this is probably a question then for um, more in the context of UFIS issue.
hmm
Um, when when the let's say that we are running a watch tool in the extension project, and this is like continuously like updating the artifact, the browser artifact.
hmm
Um, I think that we would have to identify when those changes happen, and then copy those to the web IDE to ensure that we're just like we don't have to be refreshing, right? Like running a
Yeah,
manual
yeah.
task to
Yeah,
do that.
that makes sense. Yeah, it might be more in the context of Yui's issue, but uh yeah, that's a good observation as well to bring up. I think we also need to account for that. Like if you make a change, you want to make sure it reflects over right away.
What do you think, you
Yeah. Yeah, I think that we will need to think of that way to do that. Yeah, it makes sense not to refresh. Having to refresh is not,
Mhm.
it's quite annoying, especially with example app. Then I think we have to authenticate again.
Yes, I wish that we could have like some sort of hot module reloading,
Mhm.
but it's very difficult with VS Code extensions. The and replicating the experience of debugging as we are doing it with when we're just doing debugging in the context of the desktop version, that experience is so good
Mm.
that it could be worth investigating if we can just like have a similar experience for the web browser.
Mhm.
But that's something that we can leave for the future.
Yeah, I agree. Anything we can add to make like the developer experience better, uh, yeah, I'm all for it. But yeah, Yui, if you're working on your issue, you could give me a like a ping or anything. I can just because I've implemented this, the MR is still up and still being reviewed and everything, but I just because I have a lot of context now and like just using the makefile and how
Mhm.
how everything's building and copying over and whatnot, I could probably provide some insight.
Yeah, sounds great. I just started it, so I'll try to book something maybe within this week and we can sync. And I'll try to work around your MR.
Okay, cool, cool.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Thank you
I
so
think
much, Mohammed.
yeah,
That's
no
like
Thank
problem,
you.
yeah.
no problem.
Sorry, were you going to say something?
Oh no, no, I said I think that's basically all I have to present.
That's great. It's just like the way in which you just reuse this approach, and it works for like local, but also for including the production build is really cool.
Thank you, thank you. Um,
Okay, so do we have any other topics?
no topics for me.
No, no, no from me today.
Okay. In my case, I also don't have any nothing concrete. I've been thinking I about some ideas that are very promising. Like I don't know if we got to discuss this before, but a big part of a big maintenance task for the web IDE is updating the fork of VS Code that that we use like as an underlying component,
Yeah,
and it's a very expensive and repetitive task. So something that I would like to plan, again, nothing concrete yet, is how we can use our agentic tools to automate that process
hmm,
from issue creation to creating the initial MR, allowing the agent to resolve merge conflicts when we are applying the customizations to the fork and we are rebasing on top of a newer version, to creating also like the merge request to do exploratory testing for integration for both the web ID and workspaces. I think that it would be a great way of showcasing our tools. Um, and it could be a good side quest, something that we could just like dedicate maybe I don't know, some percent of our time and make progress slowly. I'm gonna try to create an issue for that, and I just wanted to share it because it came up this week, and and I think that it could be very promising.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool one to
Sounds,
work
yeah,
on.
sounds crazy. Doing it on the web IDE would be pretty
Yeah.
powerful.
Oh, I have
Awesome.
one question. So for the web IDE, is there any rules around becoming a reviewer slash maintainer? Is it
And
like voluntary
Oh, yes. It's
that's a
good you
very
brought
good
that up.
question. That's a
for
very
the
good
for the
question.
MRs? Mm-hmm.
For to become a reviewer, please just submit an MR where you include yourself as a web ID reviewer. I'm gonna share my YAML file in the GitLab.com project, so you know what are the specific words.
Okay.
And to become a maintainer, I don't think that we don't have a specific path to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that just experience and when you feel comfortable that you have like a good knowledge of the code base, then voice that, and then we can again update your YAML file and switch to maintainer. What do you
Okay,
think?
cool. Yeah, yeah, that sounds
Yeah,
good.
sounds good.
Yeah, can you sh also share your YAML file with me too? Because I just want to add myself as a reviewer as well, just so I can get more familiar with the code base.
Thank you
Mm-hmm.
so much. That's very proactive, and thank you for pointing that out. It was like I think that I had thought before about it and never mentioned it. So I will share it as soon as we finish this call.
Okay, cool.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Awesome. Well, it was really good to see you, folks, and thank you again
Mm-hmm.
for the work in improving the tooling in the web ID.
Of course, of course. Yeah,
Have a good
good
rest
seeing
of
you guys.
your day.
You
You
too.
too. Bye, guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.